Thank you, Your Holiness. It's wonderful to be with you again on this occasion. As you know, Your Holiness, I'm a simple psychologist and neuroscientist, and I have been conducting research on the brain and emotion for many, many years. And since we have had the opportunity to interact when I first met you in 1992, we have been very vigorously pursuing research on the brain mechanisms that are associated with various kinds of meditation practice. One of the important observations that has come out of this work on the impact of meditation on the brain is that practice makes a difference in terms of the enduring quality of changes that we see in the brain as well as in the body. To give just two examples of that, in our work with long-term meditation practitioners, we have observed that the greater the number of hours of lifetime practice among our group of long-term practitioners, the greater the enhancement in a certain brain signal that we have found to be very prominent during compassion meditation. In this case, it's gamma oscillations from particular parts of the brain. And there's a very strong correlation between the number of hours of practice and the magnitude of change in this signal. In work that we have done with novice practitioners, beginners, who are instructed in John Kabat-Zinn's mindfulness-based stress reduction, we have found that the more minutes of practice that the participants engage in when they're learning, the greater the change in certain biological signals that are associated with health and with reductions in inflammation. Now, since we are in New England, in the Boston area, I was reflecting on this question of practice, and I came across a wonderful quote from Henry David Thoreau, who was a great American poet and contemplative, who wrote Walden. And I would just like to, it's very short, I would just like to read it. He said, as a single footstep will not make a path on earth, so a single thought will not make a pathway. So a single thought will not make a pathway in the mind. To make a deep physical path, we walk again and again. To make a deep mental path, we must think over and over the kinds of thoughts we wish to dominate our lives. And so, the question that I have for you, Your Holiness, and the issue about which I would very much like you to speak is the issue of practice and how it relates to psychotherapy, which is the topic of this meeting. In most Western countries today, many people believe that physical exercise is good for their health, and they engage in regular physical exercise several times a week. The traditional way of practicing psychotherapy is that a client will go to a therapist typically once per week for a relatively short period of time, and the work from our own lab and the quote from Thoreau suggests that to make changes in the mind takes more enduring practice. And so I wonder if you could comment.
Exercise.
So I wonder if you can just give us some suggestions for how we can better incorporate this element into Western ways of addressing therapy and how the issue of practice is relevant.
That's a difficult question for me. I think first let me study Western psychotherapist work. My knowledge about that is almost zero. So it's difficult to say. But one thing, of course, I think physical action, usually we call physical action as well as mental action, is both, what's today? Through kind of familiarization, it goes stronger and stronger.